Can we talk about the over-edited to true-to-tone pipeline as a photographer? I was just talking to my friend about this as she was searching for a wedding photographer, and it's just my take on a pretty common photography journey. We almost all go through this experience where you grab a camera and you start to take photos just because it's fun and you think it sounds kind of creative and interesting, and then all of a sudden you're like, holy cow, I'm kind of good at this and I think I could make money off of it. And then you turn from a hobby photographer into an amateur photographer. At this point, when you get a couple clients, you kind of start playing with editing and creating your own unique creative style that separates you as an artist. And for me, this is where I really started to over edit my photos, kind of take the mindset of I really want it to stand out. So when you're scrolling through a feed, you know for a fact that that's not an iPhone photo. Yes, it's actually about skill and technique with the camera more than it is the actual edits. The more that I did this, the more that I desaturated and over edited and jacked up my contrast so much, the more extreme the edits looked until I realized, hang on, I'm actually way more drawn to a more natural style. Like my style is very documentary and authentic, and that doesn't really bode well with extreme edits. So I brought saturation back into my work and I focused more on telling the story as it happened, which really focused on color and different lighting scenarios and emotion. And slowly my work became more true to tone. And while the style remains consistent, it shows more variation based on the moment that the photo was actually taken. I've talked to a few other photographers who had a similar pipeline where the more experience that they got, the more their edits started to take on a more natural appearance. Not that this happens to every photographer. Obviously, some people still have a very extreme or distinct editing style. But what do you think? Do you now define your photography style as true to tone after going through this pipeline as a photographer?